Return of the Obra Dinn. We're up to we're up to 4 hours of gameplay. We've only solved correctly at least 12 fates out of 60 something. So I'm hoping it won't take another 20 hours. We'll see. I hear most people beat this game in around 10-12 hours, depending on how exact you want to be with matching. I'd like to get the perfect ending, so to speak. So we left off at the start of another path of story bits. But I think before we do that, I want to fix a couple things. I have to reveal this, but I'll move on after that. So it occurred to me that I was assuming that Henry Evans was in London, England. Because it was a British shipping company. But when I go back and actually look at the preface here, he says that he is in Morocco. And Morocco, for people that are as bad with geography as I am, is right on the northwest coast of Africa, where all these events are taking place. Right about here. So here in Escape, if they went to, and I was assuming they were going to Madeira or the Azores, but it's possible that he actually made it all the way, with stops perhaps, to Africa. So I need to, before I do anything, I need to correct his fates in the ledger. I just need to find him in this group shot, because I don't believe I can do it from the ledger itself. I mean, I know he's 8, but that doesn't tell me anything about how to... I don't remember where in this picture he is. He'd be with the other officers, right? There you are. Well, that's interesting. So if we go back for a minute here, looking at the confirmed ones, Henry Evans is safe in Africa. I'm going to go ahead and change these other ones to alive in Africa as well, because I'm going to assume that they all went to the same place. So once I figure out their identities, hopefully these can be useful. But I want to look at which ones were revealed, which ones weren't. So, let's see. I should go back to this one because I'm pretty sure I know who the officer is at this point. But so that one was on the gun deck, near the front of the ship, back of the ship, near the back of the ship. So let's start there. So that was confirmed to be John Davies. So this means this guy was shot by John Davies. So that's one thing corrected. Now, I don't think I've identified the passenger who shot him. I'll need to go back and look at that. Again, I haven't identified that guy. Haven't seen what happened to the bosun. The thing I need to do is so all these guys were on the top of the ship when the Kraken attacked. I need to go back and look and see what happened after lightning struck, where they went, because I don't think I could see them from the ground. It's possible they all got thrown off the ship in the storm or something. Something to keep in mind. We got Wolf. We don't have these guys. Don't have this guy. I'm looking to see if there's any that I have the entire thing filled out, but it didn't check off, which means that I put something wrong in. I'm still I'm still a little confused if a terrible beast is. So we saw those spider riders or sea urchin riders or whatever those were in the last session of this. So I'm a little confused about whether or not these guys qualify as being killed by a terrible beast or a foreign enemy when they were killed by the rider. So I'm going to have to experiment with that later. So this one, where I said he burned to death, didn't... either that's not Charles Minor, or he didn't burn to death. So I've got to keep that in mind. This one could easily be wrong. This one also didn't check off. So either it's I was sort of guessing on the name, but he was definitely speared. So I'm gonna change that to a beast and see if that qualifies the next time 3 come around. This is the one we just started in part 5. But there was one more I'm missing somewhere, I think. What chapter was it? I think I was missing an entire entry I hadn't found. So the doom is clear. Escape is clear. The end is clear. See, because there are some where they'll mark something at a particular location, I think as a clue to get you started on a new path of incidents. So, yeah. The Doom, we found everything because we've got the title page. But Soldiers of the Sea, on the cargo deck, we don't have part 8. So that's what I want to find next. And just to confirm, we are on the cargo deck now. No, we're on the gun deck. The bottom deck is the cargo deck. Okay. So, back to the bottom of the ship. We need to find the last corpse for... What was it? Unholy... Was it 7? Soldiers of the Sea... Yeah. So, Chapter 6, Part 8, on the cargo deck. I think I came down the other staircase last time. So this is the one that I already checked out. What's interesting is that back here is the lazarette. And that's the location for Chapter 8, the one that says it'll be revealed at a later time. Because it looks like there's an open hatch or something down there. And there's also a lock on the door, which there hasn't been anywhere else in here. So I'm wondering if that's like a something important. Like I'll have to find the location of a key or something. But I need to find down here in the cargo hold that last clue. Then I'll go back to the new sequence we found. Okay, so we are now in the bosun's store. I don't see any corpses down here. Try over here. This would be the captain's cargo. We'll try the other half of the bosun's store. Aha! I'm guessing this is it, because here's the third spider rider. or urchin ride, or whatever we want to call it. I guess it's also worth noting, although we did flash it back to a cow's death before, and now I guess we're going to be flashing back to the death of this thing. It's not only human deaths that can trigger this watch or whatever, or crew member deaths. I'm assuming it's not going to have me. So apparently this guy also died. I thought he lived, but maybe not. Look more closely. I mean, sure, he got stabbed, but I thought maybe he would live another day. So he got... How do we want to classify this? Was clawed, speared, spiked, spiked by a terrible beast. I mean, it's not. Those are the spikes. These are the arms. I don't like that. Oh, there's got to be a better way to express this. Struck by hooves, tail, or wings. That doesn't seem like it. Was speared. Was knifed, killed by sword, burned, clawed. I'm going to say clawed by a terrible beast. They're kind of claws, so... I mean, these are technically the claws. These are just legs. What would you call being stabbed with a leg? I guess speared? I'm going to say speared for now. I can't... This might be something I'll have to revisit later. I wonder if the game is flexible enough to accept multiple answers that are similar there. But I finally cleared that chapter at least. So, we checked 3 out of these 4 doors. I just want to check this last door out of curiosity. This would be passenger cargo. And I don't see anything of interest. So let's go back to this new path we started, which was this body here.
Keep pressure here.
Hold him down. What madness is this? 20 years my steward, and never a doubt on your sanity. Explain yourself.
Those ungodly beasts carry a curse! Throw them back or doom us all!
Tie him up and put him in the lazarette with those things. He may yet find his senses.
Come on. All's fine, John. Been in worse spots, I think. Where's the rest of his leg?
So, what we found at the end of the last stream was that what this guy who's being hauled off was saying was Iridar, which is Scandinavian or Swedish. So, presumably, this guy is a steward who is Swedish. He's the captain steward, probably. Because that's the only steward who's from Sweden. In fact, she's the only Swede on the ship. And it makes sense that he says my steward because captain is right here. We've got the bosun. I just want to investigate this scene. This unidentified guy who I supposedly can identify. So, boy, that music is loud. I'm just going to turn that down a little so I can think. The dialogue for this scene. All's fine, John. Been in worse spots, I think. This is the doctor talking, Henry Evans. Where's the rest of his leg? So one of these people here has to be a John and not the victim. Unless he was talking to John. Unless these are addressed to two different things. So who here could be a John? This is Alfred. Robert. This is the actual doctor. This guy I don't know. This guy I don't know. And this guy I don't know. Let's look at the passenger manifest and see what Johns we have. Maybe we can guess by rank. John Davies we've already identified. He's not here. There's a John Naples who's a seaman. I mean, we have to be seeing the moment of his death, or this wouldn't work. So that guy had to have died here. And I guess because they couldn't find his leg, that's why we found it in the corner there. They did something to the rest of his body, buried it at sea or whatever, because this was a little earlier on. But so I only see one John, and he's a seaman who's the lowest rank on the ship, other than the John who's a mate. So that makes me think he might have been talking to the victim. Let me bring up this page one more time. I guess he's talking to the victim, so, and it's a 1-star thing, so I'm probably overthinking this. This is probably John Naples, and it sure looks like he died by getting his leg cut off, but let me look at the scene more carefully. I don't see any other wounds on him. So can we say he bled out? Club clawed, drowned, eaten, electrocuted, expired. I just say, oh geez, you can die from old age in here? Oh geez, okay. Fell, exploded, froze, illness, knifed, killed, sorted, poison shot, spirit spike, strangled, struck, suicide, torn apart? No. I'll stick with torn apart for now, but it's probably worth keeping in mind that these two are both seamen, so these might all be seamen. Like same rank used in the execution or something. But this led to a second corpse upstairs that I haven't actually investigated yet. Let me just see if there's anything over here. What I do find interesting is that I don't remember if I said this already. They're throwing him in the lazaret, which is also where what did they say for the text of this one? With the beasts or something? Unholy captives? Put him in the lazaret with those things. So there are some things in the lazaret, and that's also where the sea urchin riders came in the where they seem to be headed for when they attack later. So, and again, that's where the unlockable chapter or whatever is. So that seems to be a important location on the ship. So yeah, this is his leg. I guess it just got thrown into the corner here and nobody found it. But we had a new body. Oh no, I don't remember where it was. It was on this deck, right? Yeah. Did he just fucking fall down the stairs? What the heck is that? Is that a giant crab leg? So these two are probably carpenters. Here's the purser again. So yeah, this is fairly early on in the earlier in the story, so people are still like at their posts and stuff. So I guess this guy was William. I don't remember why. I guess because... Oh, I'm right. He was from India, and I just guessed one of these two names. He fell down the stairs. Oh, that's right. I guessed his name properly. And that guy? So, speared by a terrible beast works. That's something worth keeping in mind. Some of these unknown attackers, I'll have to go back and see if I've ID'd the person since then. Duncan McKay, the purser, was on that boat during the Doom. So we never saw him after that, and that was right at the end of the story. So he must have gotten on the boat. So either he's alive or he drowned. I'm just going to put drowned for now. Drowned by a beast. And if I have to fix that later, I will. But I need to remember that I have to go ID that guy as Nathan Peters for sure. Because now I know who he is. Speared by a terrible beast. Gun spiked by a terrible beast. I just want to look at the one I just confirmed. So speared by a terrible beast does count. That was the rider. So the rider counts as a beast. And that was William Wasson. Okay. I wasn't quite done with that scene, so we'll go back. The smoke only moves when you watch it, which is a little silly. So, there's you, and there's you. Does either one of these look like an older person? He looks fairly young. I don't know, he looks a little older. I'm just gonna note these guys down as the carpenter and the carpenter's mates. Although, what if I switch these two around? Oh. And Duncan did drown, so I should probably list that fate for the other people in the boat. I'll keep that in mind for later. I'm not going to do that this second. I'm just walking around this memory, making sure there's nothing else I can see out here that I couldn't see anywhere else. So you are Duncan, drowned by the beast. Right, you're the Pursar. You are the artist. That's interesting. I want to say, based on the apron, that this is the cook. Or maybe he was the butcher. I need to go back and look at that scene. Yeah, he was in the slaughter scene, so I think he's the butcher. What else is here? This guy. This is the guy that died. Just fucking fell down the stairs. I guess this guy got torn apart by unknown. Well, let's just leave it at a beast. I mean, it's gonna be a beast if it's anything, right? There's this guy, he's got a lantern. I guess it doesn't say anything. Peter Malloy. And the guy that fucking died. Excuse me, that died. And what is that? It looks like it's a giant crab arm, claw, whatever. This guy let go at a bad moment. Oh, is this the... Is this the thing where there was a rope? No, I don't see any rope, and this is certainly not his brother. So, yeah, I'll move on to the next death, but I think that's all we can get from here. Unless I can see out any of these windows, see anything interesting. Doesn't seem like it. So that led us to a death one. What is the name of this chapter? Unholy Captives. It's a short one, so I guess this guy will be next. Who died one set of stairs up.
Clear the deck. Move the boats astern and throw the bodies over.
What's your foot in?
Hey there, what's this? Give him the tea and I can fry us a solid meal, boys.
Careful now. Take it slow.
What's it, gentlemen? There's a pretty shell here. Let's have a look.
No, get back.
So I'm going to guess this is the cook because he's talking about frying. Now, as for what happened, I mean, it's a terrible beast thing, but was he slashed? What was he? Clubbed? He was... I'm going to go with spiked again. I mean, unless he was clubbed. I don't know how you classify that. How do you expect me to get up there? The stairs are blocked. I'm not quite done down there.
What's your foot in?
Hey there, what's this?
It's very squishy sounding. It almost seems like he was just punched in the face by that thing. He was struck by... Well, that's not a hoof, tail, or wing. He was clubbed by a beast. I'm going to leave it at that. But I didn't go upstairs in this memory. I want to see what else is going on up here. You're moving boxes. Oh, did they... So they just brought this thing aboard. Because, yeah, we saw it being taken down the stairs in future memories. Seems like they're offloading this boat? So he's holding a spike. So we may need to keep that in mind for these two future deaths. Geez, Henry Brennan, you're freaking everywhere. You're like the most competent person on this ship. So while they were looking at the bodies, these guys were having essentially a meeting. You have the captain, the third mate, the first mate, the gunner, and the gunner's mate. Did I look at this guy? Just kind of hanging out. He's a topman. I guess he would just be kind of hanging out. I gotta remember to look up there and see if there were people hanging out up there earlier. I'm pretty sure I know this guy's name now. So, I'm pretty sure he's Nathan Peters. Right? Because he was present here. So if he was on the boat where the other guy drowned... Making progress. That guy was the cook. And Emma O'Farrell was the butcher. I know the attacker here, but I still don't know his name. How many midshipmen are left? There's only two midshipmen? What? Thomas and Charles. Huh. Wow, I'm gonna have to just start guessing because I know who stabbed him now. He's a midshipman who's not Pete. Um, I didn't see what happened to him. What other memories has he been in? So the memories before his death aren't connected up yet. I may get to see how he died. I think this guy was also... I think all four of these guys were on the ship. So I'm just going to say... No, he wasn't on the ship, was he? I gotta go back and look who was on the ship. But there was one other thing we determined here. This guy was speared. I gotta ID the guy that shot him, because this was the guy that crawled off to die. He was spiked. But again, Charles did not burn to death. I'm gonna change this to... He was impaled and then burned. So I'm gonna say spiked. And see if that results in him getting paired up. Spiked, speared. So you do get speared and spiked. There's a difference. But I said this guy was torn apart and it didn't clear. So this is probably not the right fate. He was... Let's change this back to unknown because we don't know what his deal is. And he was clubbed, so that's nice. I think that's all we've got to work with. Wait. Don't know who that is. Yeah, that's all we've got to work with. Okay, we're good. I wanted to comment earlier. I don't know why the Captain Stewart is running this way. That's interesting. Anyway, we've got one more set of deaths for this chapter. Seems like we're making decent progress. We can see where that giant crab claw came from. I believe it was these two.
What
the hell is going on? What do you know about these things? About the chest and your dead friends?
这是虾米？未来全部供出来。
拢是恁害啦！迄个害得较对人无顾好，是谁人本死的啦？
He talked about a shell. Very dangerous.
Shell? What shell?
Heck? So they're not dead because we see them later. They just passed out or something? I need to go back and look at that because it only looked like one person was being struck. And so one met with an unknown fate, one died. Interesting. This is your fault. So one of the two is from Taiwan because he's talking in Taiwanese, I believe. Oh, so he was dead. The other two just aren't. That's weird. It's amazing that you can lock onto bodies in a past scene like that. I mean, I've been doing it all along, but it really expands the number of... well, I mean, there's an X. They died. You're not really leaving much to the wonder here. Yeah, these two didn't die. Oh, he died. So, I'm not quite done with these guys, though.
What the hell is going on?
So this guy got spiked by a terrible beast. He's one of the guards for the Taiwanese.
What do you know about these things? About
So-
the chest and your dead friends?
这是虾米？未来全部供出来。
拢是恁害啦！迄个害。较对人无顾好，谁人本死的啦！
He talked about a shell. Very dangerous.
Shell? What shell?
So who's the other guy in this? It's this guy? Yeah. Yeah, I went through both of them. But there's no X by this other guy who is translating. So this has to be the guy that's translating. So I'm going to guess that he is from somewhere near Taiwan. Which obviously is geography is my worst subject, read by China, but even I know that. But if there's so Chinese or maybe Korean, Philippines, something like that. And he's dressed like a low-ranking crew member. I think. So there's 4 people from China in the top men. So I don't think he's a seaman because he doesn't look Indian or English. I'm really narrowing it down. He's got to be a topman. One of these 4 topmen from China, I guess. Wait. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. One, two, three, four, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Are all the topmen in the picture like literally represented by being at the tops of the pictures? Because these 2 are both topmen, and they're kind of sitting on the edge of the deck. Remind me where Persia is. I don't think that's a Persian thing, is it? I mean, maybe. We'll just pencil that in for now. I'm going to mark these guys as topmen, just for now. And this guy as a topman, I think. Question is this guy a topman? He's kind of up above. So I've got, I don't know how she died, but I've got her name, I've got his name. So if I could figure out who is who among the other 2 passengers, that would help. Anyway, this guy, I think he's a topman. And if he's a topman, He's from China. Yeah, we already arrived at that. Here's the bosun again. Here's this guy, who they say I can identify, but I've got no clue. Henry Evans again. So the second mate is dead. But these two are just like unconscious or something. So he's tending to them. Is there like a doctor's surgeon's mate maybe? I'm just gonna pencil him in for now. Because he doesn't look like an officer. But he's hanging out with the passengers? Weird. He's got kind of like an apron on. He could be the surgeon's mate. We'll see. This guy's like a rope guy. Seaman. Seaman. Presumably these guys would all be low-class seamen. I'm gonna guess you are also a seaman. There's Martin. There's John, the guy that I think is John Naples. There's this guy. I think that's all I can get from here. Let's see what happened to the, was it the second mate? Presumably that will lead us to a new chapter because we've already wrapped up this chapter.
Ahoy! Well, back. Captain. Ahoy! Wait! Don't shoot! I have treasure! I yield!
Hold your fire!
Oh, jeez. Who shot you? One of the frickin' passengers. God. That's really annoying, dude. Well, I can use this as a chance to guess. What? I thought she was alive. She's all spiked. Oh, wait. That's not one of the passengers. What is that? It's like a sea creature. I guess that's what clubbed that guy. It was just at a really weird angle. It's like a mermaid or something. And that shell. But he's got the royalty, like, knocked out. That is so weird. What the hell happened? Was it another freaking mutiny? Ugh. He was shot with a gun by didn't see John Davies there. He's by whoever this passenger is. Feels wrong to guess, but it wasn't Bun Lin. By a passenger. Yeah, that's the fourth maid. I was wondering who else was here. So this guy is dead. Those two aren't. You can see why they ran off, presumably, with all this junk. I mean, they're on the manifest, so I gotta assume they started the voyage, right? Or... Are you gonna freaking lead me out into the ocean? How am I gonna get to that one? No? Okay. So here's Edwards pulling aboard this mermaid thing. She looks dead. I thought she was in later scenes. I guess we haven't seen her last scene. I'm very confused. Because she was there for the trial. But I guess that was an earlier scene than this. I'm getting mixed up. She is dead. Okay. All three of those guys are dead. What's going on with his arm? I guess that's just because of the... Oh, it's like... He opened the chest? Is that what's going on here? Burned? I'm gonna say burned until I know what to call that. Definitely wasn't dying of old age or illness or knifed or suicide or torn apart, so I'm just gonna leave it as burned for now. It's interesting that this, whatever this mystical fire is or something, also appears in Death Vision. It's like it's liquid death? Or just a light source, I guess. Well, we'll see. I think by the rules of this, I should have to examine these bodies out on the ocean, but the game is being lenient and not making me swim out to them. What? What? It, like, killed the mermaids. Well, this guy. I can't mark. But he was speared. He was stabbed, it looks like. Seriously, he's like opening the chest or something, and it's like one-hitting these mermaids. So he took a lot more people out, and they all fucking died. But where is the actual woman? I don't see her. I have it. Hold on. Did she drown? Because she's not here? I'll come back to it. Usually it brings me right... Is this her out here? Just an oar floating away. Oh, she's right here. I'm sorry. Again, she must have just bled out in this scene. Because she's not getting hit.
You still breathing? Can you roll? Nichols, sir, shoot them for God's sake!
Oh, she's being, like, bitten. Holy crap. Was... eaten by a terrible beast. No, she's one devoured. How do I say this? Strangled? Clawed, maybe. This one has the shell. It's like slashing her throat. Was knifed? No. I don't think I would call that decapitated. I'm going to say Claude for now. But this guy... This guy's getting pulled under. Gonna have to do these in order. So it's not Nichols, it's not O'Hagan, but O'Hagan is here. So we know this guy is Nichols. Neither one of these guys is O'Hagan. So this guy has to be... Where'd they go? This guy has to be O'Hagan. Right? Because it's not this guy, it's not those two, and those are the only ones present. Unless O'Hagan is already dead. I gotta find him. I'm gonna say he was drowned. Well, we haven't gotten his page yet, so I can't mark his death. I gotta remember, this guy was probably drowned because he's getting pulled under. This guy is fighting with this guy. And the next time we see him, he's like not on board, I think. I'll have to go ahead and look. She's reaching for him. He got speared. Can't mark him yet either. This guy got speared. Whoever he is.
Keep rowing!
Where is it?
Bang!
Something there!
I see it!
Here's a weapon!
Shoot it! My kid eye! Pick up the oars and row, you fools!
Yeah, he got speared. No idea who he is. But she's fine. She's just tied up. He got drowned. He got shot. This guy is Beng one of the Taiwanese names. Yes. So that means that there's only one unidentified crew member. I mean passenger here. Yeah, it just takes them off the list entirely once they're confirmed. Sure looks like this guy got drowned. I gotta remember his portrait. He's the squinting cup guy. Squinting cup guy got drowned. Topman got speared. Oh, he's using the spear to cut his ropes. That's interesting. But yeah, this guy definitely got speared by a terrible beast, whatever his name was. He's not the Russian, but he definitely got speared by a beast.
Keep course due east. You'll reach the Canaries in 3 days. You packed enough stores?
Aye, sir. Checked and loaded them myself.
Good. Stay quiet and alert. If the wind picks up, we've no chance against the Obra Dinn.
休假，你玩抓不？
我冇问题，但是伊来想啊，绝对袂当互伊落在水底。
那是遐个怪物出现，你绝对卖起来。
Aye, shut it up.
They say strange things about monsters.
He was speared by a beast. They say strange things about monsters. So he speaks. I'm thinking this is again one of the Chinese topmen because, you know. he speaks Taiwanese or whatever they're speaking. So Cup Guy was drowned by a beast. He was last seen in The Calling Part 3, so I'll go to that one. O'Hagan and Nichols is mentioned. Who else is mentioned? So those are the only names mentioned. So I want to go to Part 3, which I believe was... That's 5, 4... 4, 5, 6... So to access Part 3, I've got to go through Part 4. This is Part 3.
You still breathing? Can you roll? Nichols! Sir, shoot them!
Was drowned by a beast.
For God's sake!
So he, just to be clear, he was scuffling with Bang. And he says, Nichols, shoot them for God's sake. And he yelled over to O'Hannigan here. It almost seems like he was drowned by Bang or something. I need to go back to the fourth one and see what's happening after this. So his corpse is here. He wasn't drowned. There's blood. Looks like he was knifed. Okay. So he was knifed by Bang. Speared by a beast. Burned. Speared by a beast. Clawed. And shot. Oh, but I know who shot him now. So it wasn't Bang. And it wasn't Bun Lim. I need to go back to his memory to be sure, but I'm pretty sure I got the guy labeled now. Do I have all the corpses, though? Drowned and drowned. I just don't have this guy identified. Okay. So I'm pretty sure I've got all the deaths recorded. Speared, knifed, clawed, burned, and shot, and drowned and drowned. So, if I solve this one, I think that'll be another 3. So I just have to go back to your death and confirm who it is.
Ahoy! Ahoy!
Choi Tan.
Wait! Don't shoot! I have treasure!
So that one's definitely right. So one of these others must be wrong. Oh, I don't have a name for that. I don't have a name for that. Don't have a name for that. Speared, knifed. I've got this one. I've got this one. I think I need one more to prove these.
I yield! Hold your fire!
It's so weird that whatever it was that was in here killed so many people. Excuse me. So, chapter 5. If I want to go back to the beginning here, is there like a note for it? Loose cargo on the cargo deck. Before all this started, maybe that'll give me some clues of some names. I just have to find where on the cargo deck this next one is. I think I checked all these rooms, didn't I? Yeah, so there's got to be another corpse down here that I haven't found. Loose cargo on the cargo deck. Looking for corpse. Looking for corpse. That one I've already found. Nothing up there, right? Loose cargo, loose cargo. Supposed to be down here. Supposedly, I think these deaths, these circles, someone told me that these circles indicate deaths. So it's worth checking out these spots, but they may not be deaths you can actually access yet. So the other one would be in the bosun's store. Way back here. Oh, there's some flies. Totally missed that. Oh god, there was somebody in the barrel. Wait, was there somebody in the barrel, or did this guy just get clocked? Wow, they hadn't even, like, left England yet. Yeah, there was somebody inside the fucking barrel. Excuse my language. But a bunch of others were present. But there's also the guy that got crushed. They didn't even realize that there was anybody inside the barrel. They just left it here to rot. Wow.
No! Tell me no!
Yeah, he was just freaking crushed. But no clue as to his identity. He's probably a seaman because of everybody else is down here is a seaman, but as for his identity, he's probably an Englishman, but I don't know. There's only seamen and topmen and midshipmen left. He's probably a seaman. Probably all these guys are seamen. Because they'd be like of the same station. And also there's this guy that I'm pretty sure is one of the Russians. So I'm going to mark this entire pile as seamen. He was crushed by cargo. And I'm just checking, there's no way up in either of these. Yeah, these guys are all like working together down here, which makes me think they're all seamen. Cook and butcher. These guys are all seamen. Yeah, there's no way up in either of these memories, so I don't think there's able to see anything on the upper levels. This is like when they were still loading all the stuff onto the ship. 2 people died before they even set sail. It's ridiculous. Why don't the rest of these locations appear on the map? I mean, they only made it about this far before they gave up, but...
Oi! In there somewhere! Storm's coming! Finish your business and climb down here!
So, I think this is the point at which I could end the game. but I haven't identified everyone yet, so I'm not ready to do that yet. So we've done one, we've done two. Let me go back to the chapter listing. We've done Loose Cargo, Bitter Cold, Murder, The Calling, Unholy Captives, Soldiers of the Sea, The Doom, Didn't Do Bargain, we did Escape, and The End. So it's just a matter of identifying everybody now. So I'm pretty sure about this one. I don't know what happened to Martin. Let's see where Martin was last, because that seems like an easy one. He was there near the end. So if I bookmark all 9 memories and show memories in the deck map, I wasn't done with that. He was last seen in this one where she was crushed by the rigging. Why is his fate not marked? Maybe he died in the bargain chapter? How many midshipmen are left? Lank and Charles. How do I clear all the bookmarks again? So, if I want to go with the Martin, it seems like maybe I can't do yet. So let's try that bosun, because he was. I know where he died, but I couldn't tell what it was from. So if we actually, you know what? Let's. I'm overthinking this. I think. Let me go up to the very beginning. I know those passengers probably made it safe to Morocco. So I want to go back and look at that scene again, because if I can just ID their names, I think I'll generate some more matches. This is where Martin was last seen. He's got a sword. I gotta imagine he disappeared in the bargain chapter because he's not like marked here. He's not in the escape chapter. This is like one of the two Russian topmen, isn't he? What if I just select... There's only one Russian topman. Well, maybe he's not Russian. He could be Scottish. I'm just going to leave him as a topman for now. But there's no place to mark Martin's fate. I'm really confused by that. Like if I click on this guy, whoops. I can go to perished or disappeared. But if there's no last memory for him. No way to mark his fate. But I did get one little spoiler, which is that of these two passengers, she has a ring on. So she's not the miss. She's married. So this is the miss. Where are the passengers? Got Edwards. Okay. I'm only half done. So that would make you Emily Jackson, the last remaining passenger. Now, who are you? Because you... Alright, unidentified. I need to go back to those escape ones because now I think I have more information about who is who. There's no officers left. He doesn't look like a midshipman or a topman. He looks like a steward. I'm guessing. Let's go back to those escape ones. No. Let's start where I was talking about. Let's start with the bosun. He died here. He was in 5, the Doom Part 7, the Doom Part 8, and then he died. That's Part 9, that's Part 7. So, he was last seen on deck. And I apparently still have some corpses up on deck that I haven't discovered, unless those are the masts. Those might be the masts, actually. I might have been wrong about these being corpse locations because they're the same on every deck. So I think those are just the masts. Somebody told me wrong. Fortunately, I'm in that memory. This is his last recorded position. This is the gunner. This is his last recorded position before he died. I'm looking for the bosun. Bosun. Here we go. The thing has his arm twisted up. It's like crushing his arm. And then the next time we see him, none of these ever opened up, did they? They did. So this one, there was nothing in here. This one's still locked. And I remember there's nothing over there either. So, if I go down here to the mess... Yeah, he's missing his right arm. The beast got him. I don't know how I failed to mark that before.
Put me down. Let go. Easy now.
He was torn apart by a beast. I guess. He definitely wasn't decapitated. I guess you could say crushed by a beast? No. Got his arm ripped off. He was torn apart by a terrible beast. Fourth mate. Gunner's mate.
Squid's gone. Your mate was torn apart.
And do I have the fate of the Frenchman? Recorded because they say he was torn apart. So this is the bosun, the bosun's mate. So if I change Charles Minor to... Maybe he's not the bosun's mate. How did I get that? Did I just assume that based on the fact that they're standing next to each other? Maybe, okay, I'm going to take a guess, because he's standing next to the fourth mate, that this is the fourth mate's steward. I blew some easy ones there. So let's go back to the picture. Where's that Charles Minor guy? Okay, the helmsman. He'd be a good one to do. So what if he was last seen... Whoops. Let's do that again. Helmsman. And get rid of all bookmarks. Show his memories in the map. He was in the Doom Part 8.
Is this dead? How did you kill it?
We didn't. It left with the storm. Captain came up from the hold. Said he changed it off. You should rest.
Of course, son. Close that.
Let me go back to the Doom. I want to see where he was in that image. He was killed with a sword after this? Alright, I'm gonna have to. I think that was during the escape. So where is the... Supposedly he is here. So where is Finley Dalton, the helmsman? They say he's here, but I can't see him. So, unless he's, like, up in the air. So, it's entirely possible he drowned. Because he'd be here if he was anywhere, right? That's Martin. That's that Topman. They say he was also... He wasn't here for Doom Part 7. Was he here for Doom Part 6? No. He was here for Doom Part 8 and Murder Part 3. How could he be here for Doom Part 8 and nowhere else. He just like freaking disappears. He's got to have drowned. Because I don't see him anywhere on here. Unless he's up there. Oh, is that him? That's him. So yeah, he was either torn apart or drowned. But I was looking for the Frenchman before I got distracted. Why did I think he was the bosun's mate? He's an unholy captives, soldiers of the sea. Soldiers of the Sea Part 4, Bitter Cold Part 3. Never been on a farm, Charlie. Well, let's go back. There's Charles Minor. Charles Hurtick. Okay, that makes more sense. These are all midshipmen. And they're kind of dressed similarly. So that means I don't know where the Frenchman, the bosun's mate, is. Because I had it totally wrong. Where is my Frenchman? So, where is the bosun on this map? There's only 3 midshipmen, right? And if that's Charles and that's Peter, that has to be Thomas in the middle. But he was knifed? Oh, right. So I got to... If this is Thomas, I just need to go see who stabbed him. So it looks like Olus Weotter. killed Thomas. Okay. So I got the helmsman right. Got Thomas right. And I got Charles right. We're making progress. So I think, based on the fact that I've just made a bunch of discoveries based only on the sketches, let's go back to that. So we've got all three midshipmen figured out. We think this is a topman. We think this is a topman. We don't know what happened to him. How do I identify the topman? Is he missing a leg? I don't think so. Seaman. I don't know what happened to Philip Dahl, the captain's stewards. He was seen in The Calling, Part 6. Chapter 5. Chapter 4. Chapter 5. Where was the other one? Chapter 5, Unholy Captives, Part 2. Unholy Captive, Part 4. Let's go back and look at that leg. That's the last time we've seen him. Oh, this is the guy that was thrown into the...
Keep pressure here.
Hold him down. What madness is this? 20 years, my...
Oh, he must be in the bargain chapter because he doesn't have a note. Okay. And again, we're thinking this guy is a seaman because he's playing... So this guy we actually think we identified, but we don't know his fate. He disappeared in the Doom. He was in the Doom Part 7. But not 8. So that's the last we've seen of him, right? Yeah.
Steward, and never a doubt of your sanity. Explain yourself.
Those ungodly beasts carry a curse! Throw them back, or doom us all!
Oh, huh. I never went up the stairs on this memory.
Put him in the last red with those things. He
So, I need to go to the Doom Part 7. Excuse me. The other thing I need to do is I know which... Let's see here. I'm looking at 55 through 57. Those are all seamen. So I know which ones are alive at chapter 2. So I might be able to identify the one that's dead in chapter 1 from that. Doom Part 7. Last sighting of... He was last seen in Part 6. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. This guy... This is the guy we're looking for, right? Hamad Diom was last seen here. Ah, that's what happened to those guys on the boat. They did drown. Was he one of the guys on the boat? Hold on. There were 3 people on the boat. They were all drowned. That's the efficient way to do this. Duncan, you were drowned by a beast. Oh, I didn't know it bookmarked it on here too. That's interesting. And you were drowned by a beast. You were drowned by a beast. And you were drowned by a beast. So I got those 3 set. 1. If I have his name right, that's... $55. He was alive in chapter 2. So who did that leave in the unknown here? The escape we did. Bargain we can't do yet. Drown. These 2 I'm not clear on. You disappeared in the Doom. He was last seen in Part 8. you. Yeah, you can only bookmark one person at a time. We're last seen in part 8. And you were last seen in part 6. So let's go back to part 8. See if we can get these crew members cleaned up. It's amazing how many I'm getting out of these first ones that I didn't even notice at the time. So part 8 has these two, who I don't actually know who they are at all. Like, I don't even know their rank. So this guy was last seen fighting the beast. Wasn't there a guy slumped somewhere? I'm gonna say drowned by a beast, because presumably it just flung him right off the side right after this. Torn apart or drowned, one of the two. So where is this last guy? He was a topman. Last seen in part 6. How about the guy I'm looking for now? This guy. Let's bookmark him. He's supposedly here in part 8. Before that, he was in part 7. Right. So I'm going to go back to... I'm sorry, folks. I'm sorry. I'm just sort of futzing around. Since I can't find him in 8, I need to see where he was in 7, right before this. He was here. Just getting oriented. I'm going to just say that everybody here was drowned. How about you? You were last seen in part 6, which is the explodey bit. Oh yeah, he definitely fell overboard. Okay, so he was drowned by a beast. So if I assume that I've got his name right and his name right, I've just got to ID one of these people to get another match. This guy I've got no clue on. Is he the third mate Stewart? He's dressed like the other Stewarts. These guys got to be Stewarts too, right? So this Stewart I've already identified. A little bit of guessing, sorry. But that means that this guy either wasn't drowned or I've got his name wrong. Because he was on the ship, right? Yeah, he was on the boat, so he definitely drowned. So that means I've got his name wrong. He's probably one of the English. Alright. I'm not going to continue much longer, but I feel like I'm making some headway. So if I assume all these guys are seamen, we don't know what happened to him. Assuming all these guys are seamen and cooks, these guys are all topmen. Nicholas, Mamba, Omid. English, Russia, or Scotland for this guy. These two I don't have a bloody clue about. Carpenters, stewards, carpenter, bosun, topman. I'm going to assume this is a seaman. Okay, so hold on, let me back up here. So this one that I said drowned by a terrible beast didn't clear. So I must have him wrong. Because I'm like 99% sure that was Patrick O'Hannigan. There weren't that many people left. So here's what I need to do. This is in chapter 4. I need to mark down when all the seamen were killed and what chapter was where I saw all those bedrolls, and that will give me some hints. So in chapter 1, this guy, who I think is a seaman, in chapter 1 was crushed by falling cargo. Then the bitter cold. Okay, chapter 2. Had Solomon. Okay, Dead in 2. And it was Rajub and Syed. 51. And seamen are 46 to 60. So I write 46, 47, 48, 49, 50, 53, 54, 55, 56, 57, 58, 59, and 60. So 56 died in chapter 10. Saeed, who was 54, died in chapter 2, and Rajub, who was 51, died in chapter 2. I also know that it's not Peters or Lind who are 48 and 49. I can't say for sure that I got the name John Naples right. I can't say for sure that I got the name Patrick O'Hannigan right. I mean, he was on the boat, so everybody died on those boats. So Hannigan died in, what was that, chapter 6? Chapter 5. Wait. No, I can't assume he was that guy. No, he was mentioned by name. So, Hannigan died chapter 5. Dang it. Getting all goofed up here. Hannigan, 58, died chapter 5. So in '59 was alive in chapter 2. 57 was alive chapter 2. 56, 55 was alive chapter 2. 53 was alive in chapter 2. '51, 48 and 49, live chapter 2, live chapter 2. I'm reasonably certain I know the 2 Russians. So that would leave Abraham Akbar from India, John Naples from Wales, or Samuel Peters from... Oh! Was Peter... The Ropes! Right? It was the Peters brothers? No, wait. Who are the brothers? Booth, Brennan. Yeah, Nathan and Samuel. Samuel's got to be the one from chapter 1. Because those ropes. Because, yeah, he was present. And he was present. He would blame the brother's death on him. This should be Samuel Peters. Reasonably certain. And if that's the case, it also means the two brothers were hanging out together. So I can totally buy that. Okay, so where were we? We've got Peters. We've got the two from this one. I need to go back and look at the cots in these two chapters. So it's on the Orlock deck in front of surgery. Because I don't remember if I went upstairs in this memory. Stop your cheating. Worry about yourself. Saeed, get up, drink something. So if these three are all seamen, then that means that this guy, or this guy, or hypothetically this guy, but he sure as hell doesn't look Russian. I'm 99% sure that's O'Hannigan. So, drowned by a beast, shot by a passenger. Is he Nikishim or Alexei? Let's leave it. Oh. Bookmark your memories. He talks here. Wait, what? That guy's present here? It said he was drowned by a beast. Let's see if I can ID which passenger shot him. That might help. Just out of curiosity, I don't think I can go up the stairs here, but I just want to check.
Same as the other fellow. Some lung disease. Consumption.
Nope. Can't. Picked up at the Lasker house. What is a Lasker house? A sailor from India or Southeast Asia. From the Indies. So yeah, okay.
They must have picked it up at the last house.
So there's two things. While I'm here, I want to see if I've identified. Shit, I'm stuck on this guy. So if I go back to Soldiers of the Sea, the last person to die was the guy. This guy was shot with a gun by an unknown attacker. But who was present? This guy. This is the guy that shot him, but I don't know his name. I'm getting off track. I can't figure that one out for now. So, what I want to do, like I said, is... Shoot, what was I doing? I've got so many ideas here. They're all messing with me, going back and forth. This guy made it all the way to the end. I wonder if there's something about him that I could actually ID. This is the one I wanted to do. Okay, right. So I need to... It's upstairs on the top of the main deck. That's Emily Jackson. He was shot by Emily Jackson. And I'm guessing this is the Russian guy. So is he Alexis Nishini? Or vice versa, if you are Alexei Toporov, are you go back to making these guys seamen, I guess. Ugh. So frustrated. There's got to be a clue there that I'm missing. This one I should be able to... Who is there? This guy. These two I still don't have IDs for. Maybe it's time to figure out this steward. Wait, didn't I figure out all the stewards? There's only one steward left. Yeah. But who was he shot by? This guy. I think. All right. What have we got left? Just to check. I don't know who Charles Minor is, but I've got like all the other fancy people marked down, which means he should be identifiable here. Yeah, that's Paul. So that has to be Zungi Sathi. Where's the bosun? Unless he's not a topman, he's the bosun mate. No, he's a Frenchman who was torn apart by the beast. Oh. Where the hell is the bosun mate? If I follow him, I should find an unidentified person. Where's my Frenchman? Perished in the Calling Part 1. Not him. Let's go to the last sighting of the bosun. So it happened in the Doom. Presumably. So, not him, not him. He's nowhere near the bosun in this shot. Pretty certain he's a seaman too. Hmm. Let's go back to the artist's death, because that was like the beginning of that. You're tenacious, whoever the hell you are. Let's see where that guy is standing. I'm really wondering if this guy, who I hadn't identified at all, might be the bosun's mate. This guy, he's hanging out with a sailor, so he's probably a seaman. Third mate Stewart and third mate, that makes sense. Okay, there are people sleeping in this chapter. And where are we exactly? We're in part 7. Alive, part 7. $41. $41 would be a topman. Like, these are still hung up, so I'm assuming they're still alive? So 43. So we'll go empty, filled. So 41 was empty, 43 is filled, 44 is filled. $45 is filled. $57 is empty. $56 is filled. $48 and $49 are empty. So is $36. That's a high number. 41 we already got. X is still here. Who the hell is X? $57 I've got. Oh, I'm so confused. So, assuming X is among the seamen, what numbers didn't we see that X could be? So seaman starts with 46. These two Russians, they're alive in... I have reason to believe they're alive in and playing cards together in Chapter 2. That's why they don't have their hammocks up. We don't see their hammocks in Chapter 7. "48 is empty. If he was drowned by the beast, he died. Chapter... What chapter is the beast? The Doom, Chapter 7. "49. He was clubbed by Peters. Died, Chapter 7. Okay. John Naples, I don't know what his deal is. It doesn't look like his hammock was up in either one. "50. Why do I know that guy is Naples? Am I just guessing? Move on, move on. 51 died in Chapter 2. 52. Didn't have his hammock up in Chapter 2 or Chapter 7. But I bet all four of the Indian people were together. So I can reasonably guess what memory am I in right now? I'm in Chapter 7. And I've been up on deck for this part, right? So these guys are investigating the ship being launched. So if you look at the cargo manifest, the ship, I mean, these have to be, the midshipmen had their own cabins. Wait. So yeah, topmen start with 36. So topmen 36 to 43. Seamen 44. I'm sorry, to 45. Seamen is 46 to 60. And they should all be in the same general area, you would think. So 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, and 42. So, oh, wait. There's only one topman who's not asleep in chapter 2. So I might be able to ID him. But who is filled in chapter 7, which is where I am right now? Right? $41. $41 is empty in part 7. But I don't even see 36, 37, 38. Wait, 36 was empty, and 41 was empty. Did all the topmen die before that? Oh boy. I'm going to see if I can see anything in chapter 2. When only one of the seamen was out of their bunks. Where's the exit door? Not that way. So I need to see if I can get all the way up to the top deck in the bitter cold. I can't. But this guy that's X. So the other three that are here are 54, 51, 53. Are you 52? It seems possible because if we look at the original manifest, you've got like 4 people all from India. It seems possible that that's Abraham Akbar. Wait, what? X was still filled in chapter 7. What chapter was I just looking at? The Doom Part 3. I don't think anybody was still in their bunks at this point. Because, yeah, everybody jumped out of their bunks. Oh me, oh my. I've got to... Tell you what, folks, this is just going to be boring for you, so here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to log off here, and I'm just going to do some compiling on my own off stream. And I'll start entering the results in the next stream once I've cataloged all this. All right? So I'll see